Hello, and welcome back to Perseverance Part 1. On the last episode, we got to know Jack a little bit, and a bit about his family. We have yet to go into the meat of the game, but there's a lot of dialogue options, apparently. So far, at least. Way more than we've had in other games. That being said, though, we've met this strange woman, and either we question her, or we're about to be polite. I think it's best we start off with being polite, so... time to see where this leads us. Hello, miss. Hello, angry mister. Seems very straightforward. Jane. I'm not angry. My name is Jack. I'm Jane. Is everything alright? You look a bit lost. Well, I guess I am. Where am I? We're in Grayville. Oh wow, never heard of it. Is it pretty? Wow, aren't you a little, worried? How did you get here? I don't know really. Should I be worried? You asking that while you're, smiling? I have no idea. How come you don't know how you got here? I'd rather not say. It's embarrassing. So in one image she's frowning, in the next she's smiling. You can tell me. I might be able to help you. To be honest, I have this condition. Sometimes I forget things. Like, literally. It's what happens if you live the way I do. Which is... I don't make much waitressing, so sometimes I volunteer to take part in a test. Do you know what a test is? Oh, really? You know, when a pharmaceutical company wants to introduce a new drug to the market, or a bunch of shrinks want to take a look at it into your subconscious. You sign some papers, swallow some pills, and get examined and get paid. Simple. Unless you die in the process. Ha ha ha. Or you can get invited into a random location where they put you with some other people in an unusual situation. Then they observe your behavior in a group and file some papers. I'm basically a part-time lab rat. Haha. Still doesn't explain how you got here. I walked for the past couple of miles. Some random guy picked me up and dropped me off here. And prior to that, I guess I was taking part in a test. I think it got to, I think it's got to do with food. What was it about? I told you. I don't remember. Besides, you're asking way too many questions, Jack. Is there someone we could call to ask to pick you up? That's another question. I guess we could call Jeff, but I doubt he would pick me up. Who's Jeff? My cat. That would explain why he wouldn't pick you up. Okay, it seems like you're doing fine. I'm hungry. I'm going now. Wait. There's one thing you can help me with. Yes? I'm a little cold. You have some money, a little jacket. Don't give her anything. We're doing tight on money. Okay, right, we might need the jacket though. Oh, and I can't save. I'm cold, so it's just before I'm cold. There we go. Well, cold. Then we save. We always save for all choices. And then we return. I'm gonna give you some money. I had a few bucks. All I had left from my little shopping. Here. Go to the station and buy yourself a hot drink or something. Thanks a lot. Wow, that's a lot of money. That's the least I can do. You are sweet. Your girlfriend must be happy with you. I bet you couldn't... What? I bet you can't get her hands off you. Yeah, I guess. I'm sure you also have someone too close to you too. Not really. I mean, there was a guy who liked me, at least in my last test job I did. And you're crying? We talked a lot about his work at this laboratory. He was super smart. I remember he said the test we were running is super important. It will change mankind forever, he said. Can you imagine being part of something like that? I can't remember his name though. Mark? Murray? Marv? Whatever. Do you remember where it was? Not really. It must have been super secret, because they drove me with a band covering my eyes. But they promised to pay me good money for that one. You do live your life a crazy way. I gotta give you that. Yeah, I guess I do. I feel so hungry. I could eat a horse. Listen, it's been great chatting with you, but I gotta run. You could ask for Hal Guilford. He's the sheriff around here. He should be able to help you. Hal Guilford. Got it. Is it Gifford or Guilford? Am I just adding an L? See you around, Joe. So she's not very good at memory stuff. And just like that, she walked away. All I could do was hope that she would eventually go back to wherever she came from. I didn't know that we would meet again in totally different circumstances. It was already getting late, and I still had a long way to reach my cabin. As I wasn't the biggest fan of driving after dark, I decided not to waste any more time. With my favourite band on the speakers, I turned on the engine and hit the road. The route I had taken wasn't popular, since most of the traffic moved up to the highway. On one hand, it was good for the town was with less cars moving through. On the other hand, all traffic was bad for business, such as Bob's. It was bad for businesses in general. If it hadn't been for the military-based employees, the town would have dried out. A few miles out of town, I saw a woman. Is it Jane? She was leaning back against a car, smoking. She appeared relaxed and enjoying the moment. Seeing her in the middle of nowhere, chilling, gave me a funny feeling. She seemed to be okay with being by herself. I thought I could use a company like... What? I thought I could use company like that. Did we stop? Back then I assumed she was just another solitary soul passing through. Never to be seen again. I began to understand what Bob had talked about, seeing new people and all. For a second I thought about stopping and enjoying the smoke with her. It's not like it would be cheating or anything, would it? Never mind. Before I had a chance to make up my mind, I passed her and kept on driving. I had no idea what was coming over me, or what was coming for me. It took me forever to reach my father's land. I was tired and didn't know why. For a second I thought about the woman from the gas station. What was her name again? Jane. Did I have a spelling mistake for weird, or am I just going crazy? Weird, that one. I never actually met someone who got involved with such various tests and experimenting in for a living. The forest has always gotten a sense of peace. Or given me a sense of peace. My father had bought a large piece of the land back when he was in his 20s. I wasn't sure what had been his idea for it, but since he's gone, the land belongs to me. If I had known any better, I would have started a plantation of some sort. Or chopped down part of the trees and sold them back to the highest bidder. But I knew that there was something else about this place, about the cabin. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was drawn to it like a bee to a flower. 20 minutes later, I finally reached the cabin. Hidden deep in the woods, it was near out of reach. It was a place where I could cut off the constant noise. That was exactly what I needed. The sun was down already. I stopped in front of the door and enjoyed the silence. Or to enjoy the silence. The woman at Bob's was lucky I had spare cash on me. The things she had said sounded a little crazy. It was none of my business, though. We all tried to make the best of the time we were given. I couldn't help a strange feeling that it was no coincidence that she showed up at Greyville today. Maybe she was on her way to Murphy's base for some kind of scientific test. Who knows? Bottom line is, I hadn't brought any extra liquor. It was just me and my thoughts for the next few days. I wanted to enjoy the forest's tranquility, but I couldn't. A dog was barking somewhere in the distance. I thought it was just a stray mutt, but after a few seconds, the barking stopped. I let out a heavy sigh and opened the door. I instantly got a familiar smell of wood and old blankets. somewhere else. Is this Jen? Is she becoming a zombie? Yes, she is. Oh no. She's cutting out her tracker. This thing I did was find some matches to build a fire. Good in one sense, because obviously we're warm. Bad in another sense, because we're making a beacon for ourselves. It was a long time since I had stayed at a cabin. The air inside had gone stale. The furniture was covered in thick dust. Judging by the smell, a fungus had crept somewhere. It felt like home. I didn't have the energy to take care of it, so as soon as I got inside, all my wariness caught up with me. I tossed the bag into the bed and sat down beside it. The worn-out wood creaked under my weight. I thought I would finally have a chance to relax. I was wrong. As soon as I sat down, the phone started to ring. The usually cheerful ringtone was now almost painful to listen to. I remember the times when you needed to walk around the house to get a signal. Now these bloody things can catch up with you even in the middle of nowhere. I reached down to my phone and checked the screen. There was a single name on it. Natalie. Right, I was supposed to call her. Was it already time for an aftermath? Can't say I was ready, but I couldn't simply ignore her either. Hello, Nat. Hi, Jack. How was the road? It was fine. I just got settled. Listen, about earlier. I think all has been said, Jack. Can you please, just for a second, stop pretending like you know it all? Okay. Okay, you're right. I'm not over what happened to us. But all I wanted was for Hope to be happy. I wanted to spend more time with her. That's why I suggested we go for a hunt together. Did it ever cross your mind to actually ask her what she likes, Nat? She doesn't know what she's into. I gave her a hammer and a bag of nails, and she'll go into carpentry. She's just a kid. It's up to her to show us. It's up to us to show her options. In this case, I think both parents are right. We need to know what the kid wants to do, but we also have to show the kids, you know, A, skills to survive, but B, the options they haven't considered. I think you're underestimating her. She ain't a small kid anymore. You said it herself. Well, I think you're overestimating her. Guess we're in a pickle, aren't we? Guess we are. I can't stay mad at you, Jack. Even if you hurt me to the core. I'll make it up to you, Nat. Anyways, the hospital just called. Apparently, they got some hard junkie case over there. I need to take an all-nighter and put Hope to sleep early. Is she going to be okay? Yeah, don't worry. I asked Hal to check on her later. He said it's fine. When Hope's out, she's out for good. Speaking of the little devil, she wants to talk to you. Hold on. Hi, Dad. Hi, sweetie. Mom said there was something on your mind? Yes. I was thinking very hard about the hunting and came up with a great idea. Listen. I'm all ears. What if instead of shooting animals, we catch them? We could later bring them home and tame them in the backyard. I would take good care of them and... Hope, sweetie. I mean, catching them is a good idea, because that's a start. That's like a compromise for hunting, I think. Especially in a zombie apocalypse case, which I'm assuming this is what's going to turn out to be. Because obviously we'll need to catch food. Or, well, I guess more often than not we'll catch zombies, but still, it's a way to get rid of them. We can save for this one. You know what? Because she's offered a compromise, I mean, it's a good idea. Yeah, sure, we don't disagree with it as a parent. You know, I'm gonna say it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea, Hope. It was an awful lie, I know. But hearing how proud she was of her idea, I simply couldn't bring myself to break it to her. Sadly, I've always been a poor liar. You don't sound convincing, Dad. Well, you see, we can't just tame wild animals. They're much happier in the wild. It's where they belong. Then, maybe we could at least get a dog? I always wanted one. A dog can protect me and Mom if something scary happens. And he could be my best friend. Well, I'd say I'm fine with it. As long as she knows it's a big responsibility. Hope, we've talked about it already. A dog is a huge responsibility, and with me and Mom working, we won't be able to take care of it properly. I could take care of it myself. Maybe this way Mom could come up on trips with us. She wouldn't be so scared of the forest if there was a big dog next to her, right? We'll talk about it when I get back. But Dad, anyway, just staying alone tonight. No scary movies, okay? Okay, nothing scary, I promise. Don't tell Mom. But I'll be watching Princess Dragon. Never heard of it. Maybe it is a horror movie. Princess Dragon. Aren't you a bit old for that fairy tale? It's my favorite movie. How do you know it's a fairy tale if you've never seen it? Well, I asked you to watch it with me once, remember? You never did. You only do things you want to do. I'm sorry. I've been busy, okay? Yeah, because you're always sitting in your shed and your monster car. Wait, what? You've always been sitting in your shed with your monster car. Or you're out somewhere far without me. Have fun by yourself, Dad. Ouch. She hung up on me. That was a first. It wasn't a proper way to act for a child. I realized that I never noticed how quickly she became like her mother. She was all Natalie, alright. For a moment I just sat there, staring blankly at the screen of my phone. As soon as I had nothing to really focus on, all the thoughts I'd been trying to suppress throughout the day started to come up. Thoughts about Natalie, thoughts about Hope. Too scared to tell me that she didn't want to spend time with me the way I thought she wanted. Tears in her eye when she asked if I'd rather have a son, and the discussion we just had. I knew I would need to face these things eventually, but not at the moment. Back when I just wanted to rest. Was that too much to ask for? With a heavy heart, I got up and started searching for my loyal companion. I found her lying behind the bed, waiting for me. If I had known just how many thoughts would catch up to me, I would have bought an extra one when Bob had suggested to. The bottle felt heavy in my hand, full of golden liquor. I looked down at the label, only to notice something unexpected. Hey look, old man. Isn't this your favorite brand? Whiskey, number 1. These days, thoughts of my father rarely crossed my mind, so when I saw the label, I couldn't help but smile. How many times have we drunk it together? Twice? Once for my 21st birthday, and once when I got back to take care of you. You promised to drink with me again when my first child was born. Your time ran out, old man. I knew that if I took a sip, this conversation would go south. That's why I decided to go to sleep. It's definitely gonna go south, and we don't want to obviously things go wrong. So time to go sleep. It was too much excitement for one day. I didn't feel like indulging myself into a drunken trip down memory lane any longer. Besides, I was looking forward to some quiet time next day. Put a bottle away and dozed off. Somewhere else. Reporting in. What's the status? She's on the move again. I found her tracking device. It looks like she ripped it away with her own teeth. Okay then, so it wasn't in the mouth or anything. It couldn't have been in like the neck or shoulders. Maybe the shoulders. Mainly in the wrist, I'm assuming. I've spoken with a guy who saw her at the local gas station. Seems she'd gotten tangled up with the local authorities. Nothing I can't handle. This better not influence your schedule. It won't, sir. Good. You have 24 hours to contain the situation. Keep a low profile. Yes, sir. The additional asset has been involved, by the way. Once the target is contained, we will have another task for you. Understood. Well, it's got nothing to do with us. We're, Jane's someone else's problem. In the cabin. Almost 11:15. That night I slept like a baby. To my own surprise, I woke up fresh. Was it in the morning? Okay. I woke up fresh and energetic. which is rarely the case. Didn't take long to realise why. When I looked out the window, I noticed the sun was already high. I must have been out for at least 10 hours, which meant I had wasted my first day. No animal I was interested in would be active in the middle of the day. I heard barking again. The dog still had to be out there somewhere. What's wrong with the damn mutt? I closed the window, but it got me thinking. Why would a dog still be out here? I decided to check it out. Leaving it like this could be dangerous, especially if the dog was aggressive. Stumbling upon it during a hunt could end badly. I grabbed a pocket knife from the shelf and my bag with Natalie sandwiches. The stuff I had bought at the gas station was still inside. I took my rifle too. If the dog had rabies or some other disease, it would fall onto me to do something about it. Armed, I left the cabin. I mean, technically this is our land, right? So we would fall under protecting it, correct? Naturally, I don't know the laws of, well, in America. I don't even know the laws, if it would count that way, in Britain, or any other world of part of the country. Following the barking was difficult. I couldn't use any of my usual tracks, so I walked into the forest blindly. Whenever the dog went silent, I was left without any clues to where to go. So I just waited patiently for it to stop making noise again. Can't say I really minded. In the end, a chance to spend time surrounded by nature was the reason why I had come here in the first place. Fortunately, and oddly by the same time, it seemed that the dog wasn't moving at all, like it was sitting there, barking the whole day. Wandering through the forest took me almost 2 hours. It must have been a long past noon when I finally found it. I had expected many things, but not what I saw. Instead, a stray mutt roaming around. It was a dangerous-looking hound tied to a tree. He was a magnificent beast, big and sturdy. I didn't know much about dogs, but even I could recognize a purebred when I saw one. Looked like he'd spent the last couple of days in the forest. He was a bit dirty, but still healthy and strong. There was some bloody wound around his neck. The collar must have cut his skin when he was struggling to set himself free. Someone must have left him here to die. If I laid my hands on the guy who did this. Even just thinking about it made me furious. Someone decided to leave an animal to starve to death. Like he couldn't have just left it at a shelter. And why? Out of shame? Because it was a long drive? It was all. These were all trivial. Yet here we both were. If we set this free, it's probably going to bite us. Hey there, buddy. I mean, you've got a happy-looking image. Okay, easy. I tried to approach the dog, but it turned out to be more difficult than I expected. I had to focus on keeping all my fingers intact. First of all, I had to free him somehow. Touching his collar was without the question. Tinkering with it at this point would cause him too much pain. Cutting the rope seemed to be the better option, but I couldn't do it without getting closer to the dog. I needed someone to gain its trust. I don't know these. I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna go head on. I don't know this, but if it's head on, the dog can see me. He knows what I'm doing. I'm not trying to sneak around it. Oh, I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting myself so much. The rope tied around his neck, it could be more. I could more or less predict how far the dog could reach. That's why I decided to approach it head on. Worst case scenario, I would just let out. I would just get out of his range. It was a poor choice. He didn't attack me, but he definitely felt threatened. for he took a step back and bared his teeth, wrinkling his nose. I could see it in his eyes that he didn't want to fight me, but knew he could not run away. If I got any closer, he would snap. Avert his gaze. Yeah, I'm gonna avert my gaze. Didn't want him to feel challenged, so I gave him some space and averted my gaze. I was still a little worried about how he would react, so I watched him from the corner of my eyes, ready to back off if needed. But it seemed that the dog finally gained some confidence. He started to wag his tail timidly. Alongside the fear, I caught a glimpse of curiosity. The fangs were still there, but more as a reminder, just ready with, rather than with a weapon ready to be used. He was waiting for my next move. Finally, I got my chance. We were still far from friendly terms, but that was about to change. I reached for my bag and opened it slowly. The lovely smell piqued the dog's attention immediately. I had something no meat eater would be able to resist, especially not one that had just spent a few days stranded to the forest. I fished into the bag and pulled out one of Natalie's sandwiches. I'm sorry, Nat. It pains me to do this, but it's a necessary sacrifice. I know you would understand if you were here. With a heavy heart, I grabbed one of the sandwiches that Natalie had made for me at the time. Made for me yesterday. It's probably not the healthiest food for an animal, but hey, he probably just didn't care. Time for worry about nutritional value would come later. I ripped the packaging apart and threw the contents near the dog. It disappeared faster than I thought it was possible. The dog must have been here for days. Wow, you must be really hungry, huh? There we go, he's happy now. No worries, there's more of it. I backed 2 more sandwiches and tossed them to the dog. With his fangs out of the way, I had my chance to finally take care of the rope. It was a thick one, with a polyester cover. I didn't know much about ropes, but if I had to guess, I would say it was probably used for climbing and sailing, something where durability counts. It's not used to tie to tie it around the tree wasn't trivial either. When the animal tugged on it, attempts to free himself, it only grew tighter. At this point, there was no way to untie it. Not without a sharp pair of teeth ready to bite my arm off. I needed to cut the rope somehow. The problem with that was I wasn't really sure if I was prepared. I could quickly recall all the things that had come with me I could use. Is it gonna be something stupid like if you try to use the knife early, the dog will get angry? If I try to use the sandwiches to calm down the dog preemptively, it's gonna be like, I can't use a sandwich with a rope. I'm gonna save obviously because I don't want to be called stupid by the game. I really don't, but I'm gonna use the knife. With an obvious choice. Well, it's the knife, of course. What else is a knife for? Sadly, it wasn't that easy. The knife was pretty dull. Still useful for things like opening cans, but not so much as cutting. With the rope so thick, it would have taken ages before I'd gotten through half of it. I need something else. I guess the rifle. In the end, I concluded that trying would be a poor choice. Not only I couldn't predict if it would really work, but the sound of shooting would terrify the dog. Moreover, it could really hurt him in the process. I needed to come up with something else. Well, an obvious choice. What else would the knife for? What else is for a knife? What? What else is a knife for? The sandwiches? Good job with the dog. I still need to keep the dog occupied. So I'm not really cutting anything. Batteries? I tend to use the batteries. For a flashlight, so far I found a chance to do so. Packaging. Energy bar? Video game, I need something else. Flashlight. No, just no. There's no way I can use a flashlight to cut. Wait, I have an idea. The flashlight itself was useless to me now. But the light bulb could be used for various things. Starting a fire is one of them. I took the flashlight apart and picked up the bulb. I had all the things I needed. Now I just needed time to set up my plan in motion. Using a pocket knife, I broke the light bulb to expose the tungsten filament. Then I placed it on the rope and carefully touched the base with the bulb with a battery. The filament lit up immediately, and the heat allowed me to melt the cover of the rope, which made cutting it much easier. As I was able to cut the rope with my knife, I kept watching the dog. Ooh, pardon me. He sat there and was growling from time to time. I knew he wouldn't attack if he sensed hesitation or fear. Dogs respond to emotion. I focused on the rope and tried to not think about him snapping at me. It took me a couple of minutes, but eventually the dog was free. Hey buddy, your prison time is over. What do you want to do now? Not that you got much choice. Sorry mate, but you look like the typical lapdog. Staying here is out of the question. Plus, your neck looks pretty bad. Someone should really take care of it. Perhaps I know a guy, but I need you to come back with me to my cabin. It's an hour's walk from here. What do you think? Up for a stroll? I'll take that as a yes. It probably just wasn't a yes. The dog was still very wary and rather hesitant to follow me. No wonder. It was impossible to tell how long it had been tied to the tree. Thankfully, the last of the sandwiches did the trick. That's all of our food? Somewhere else. Okay then. I feel like with that sign with Jane is the best place to call it. Hopefully you're interested when the story goes, because I am, and hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.